Thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much, Fuji, for inviting me to this great event and beautiful city. I started taking pictures 8 years ago, but I'm working as a professional photographer for 4. But I'm still thinking myself as an amateur, because amateur in Latin ways means lover of something what you are doing. I'm self-taught photographer because I finished information technology studies. So photography and information technology is quite a difference. That's why I would like to show you my journey. The beginning, I would like to start with a quote of very famous writer Marcel Proust, because I think that the journey with photography you need to find in yourself, not finding anywhere else. My journey with Fuji started around 4 or 5 years ago when I was doing daily life work about Venice, how people are spending their time. And this is image shot with Fuji Velvia. What I love in the film was the colors. Normally I'm working as a journalist, street photographer and documentary. And the most important thing for me are the moments. Because if you can spot the moments, then you can cherish the daily life situations. And this is the moment when I was waiting how the fishermen were locking the fish. You can try shot a lot of images, like from Uzi gun, but in my opinion, you should shot only one. And if you have the moment, then you've got it, and you are very happy. So my first camera, which I approached with Fuji, with digital age, was XE1. It was in 2012. Because for the old time, I was trying to find a camera that will give me the quality as I had in film, like Velvia or black and white Fuji Neopan. And the Fuji sensor was so amazing that I really want to try it. So I took the XE1 to Venice, to another trip, and I could spot also the moment. This is the moment. Because what is important in the moments, that the small details are putting the simple images to something more than a postcard. I wasn't shooting a series like 10 to 20 images. I was walking very fast from a meeting, and I only took camera to my eye. It was one image, and thanks to very good autofocus, I was able to capture it. So for example, another example of street photography is that you can give you a kind of idea, a kind of connection and symbol. Because in a lot of cultures, light bulb is a symbol of thinking. That's why if you got a guy who is also kind of thinking near the book, so you've got the kind of connection, and you can start laughing because of the situation. Also, I really love the colors, thanks to the sensor of Fuji. Normally, I'm also working as a journalist with different newspapers like New York Times, Wall Street Journal. And once I received a, I think, very tough assignment about going to Kosovo, country divided by war. I had to do a work about daily life of Serbian minorities living there. And this is Mitrovica, city divided in a half. In one half live the Albanians, in the other Serbian people. And then I was traveling, because normally when I'm working 10 to 20 hours when I'm on an assignment or when I'm walking on a street. I was trying to find this kind of sparkle of love, because it's very nice to show that in the car divided by war, you can see also love. And I was going down the hill after the sunset when I spotted a couple kissing. And it was a very fast scene. I go down, took one image, went go, and this was the moment. This was a very interesting scene, because when I'm working for the New York Times, many times they are giving me this kind of directions. You need to shoot this, this, or this. And I had to shoot a Serbian guy who is working in Kosovo police. It's very dangerous for them because they hate with each other with the Albanians. So I approached with my fixer to him and asked if it's possible to take a picture. He said no, because he was afraid. But I seen at his eyes that it only was just a minute, quite time to get the answer yes. So when I'm working, I'm also having with me the Fuji Instax. And I start taking pictures of them. Also, you can see here Carabinieri, the Italian soldiers. So I was starting taking portraits of them, and I gave them as a present. Because I think if you are taking picture of somebody, you need to give something in advance as a gift. That's why I was giving them the Instax as a gift from me. And then one more time I asked the fixer asked him if it's possible to take a picture of him, and he said yes. And for half an hour, I was walking around them, talking and taking pictures with Fuji X100S, where I was able to capture the moment with all the positions right. My fixer invited me to a night disco, because this is the disco only for Serbian people. So I said yes, why not? Can be very good opportunity to take some good pictures. I took only my jacket and X100S because DSLR was too big for me. I just wanted to have fun and also to approach very close to the young people. This shot was on 4000 ISO, and it was published on the 4th page of New York Times, very big. And what I really like with the sensor, that even with the reds, I had all the information. But let's come back to street photography. Since 2012, when I received the WordPress Photo Award, I'm traveling once a year to New York to meet with the editors, director of magazines, to show my work. Last year in April, my friend told me that he would like to show me George Washington Bridge. This was my last day in New York. And I was thinking, okay, I will have another beautiful postcard when I will show my family. But suddenly something nice happened. 3 drunk Japanese guys and 2 Americans. And they started laughing, and I spotted the situation. I used the flash, and this looks like it's smiling. So this put the normal picture of a landscape to something more, street photography. Even this situation, which was also shot last year, I spotted 2 sisters dressed the same. Great opportunity for street photography. But with street photography, a lot of unexpected things can happen, like this. Strap from my camera fall in the lens. And I need to think very fast what I can do to help the image. And I see that this line works with this line. So I used this as an advantage. In 2013, I went to New York with my fiancée, and we are going back from a meeting. And I spotted a guy with a hat, and probably this was his wife. And I seen that she's looking up, and it was a great street moment. And with a small camera like X100S, I was able to capture it very fast because of the autofocus. I was just passing them by to capture this. This is the moment that is putting the image above, typical image. Here, for example, I couldn't miss the opportunity. This is the biggest pillow fight in the world. It happens in New York each year in April. With a big DSLR, I would be very afraid to approach because one guy spotted me and told, oh, he don't have any pillow. So 20 pillows started attacking me, and I was covered red with scratches after the whole shooting. But with a small camera, with a flash, I was able to approach very close to them and take the image, which shows only a lot of hands, pillows, and hair. For more than 6 years, I'm working on a very long-term project. It's called Theater of Life. It's about finding the surreality in the daily life. What I think is very important to find good images, or even better, in a very simple situations. This is only reflection in a pond on Times Square. When I was taking this image, I was lying almost on the road because the pond was here, but thanks to the viewer, I didn't have to lie all. The problem with me, I am very big. So with street photography, I'm like a tower moving on a street. Even this image, I was going to Coney Island with a subway, and I spotted a great situation. The lady was taking a blank card, and this kind of connection between this and this makes the image. And thanks to a very small camera, which is X100S, I was able to capture it and don't disturb her. Last year, Theater of Life was nominated to one of the biggest prizes and the biggest art fair in Arles. So also with this kind of small camera like X100S, you can make images which are between documentary and art. When I went last year to New York, I also received the XT1 camera. It's really amazing camera, but I had a really big problem because Lightroom didn't release the newest plugin, so I had to shoot RAW files with JPEGs, because normally I'm working with the RAW files. But at the end, when I was comparing the RAW file and the JPEG, I was, I couldn't believe because the quality of the JPEG was really great. It's almost like raw. That's why I'm using Fuji, because of the quality and also of the colors, which I loved in the film and now I have with the digital sensor. When I'm working as a documentary or street photographer, I'm not trying to add anything in Lightroom or Photoshop. This is natural lights spotted on a street of New York. And this was the moment when the lady entered to this light. I just only had to capture it. And a very good lens, 35, the image is very sharp. Also, street photography don't have to be about people. It can be this, because people build cities. That's why you can also have this kind of funny city landscape. Here was a situation when I went with my friend during the break for the oldest burger restaurant in New York. And I spotted this guy when I was going out, how he was reading the book, the finger, the light. This is the moment. And with this small camera, when I was going out, I took 2 images and I knew that I have it right. The XT1 is a bigger one, but it's still smaller, but it's still smaller than typical DCR. So it's also very good for street photography. That's why I like to approach very close to people. And this lady was thinking that I'm shooting Marilyn Monroe on the poster. But this is the moment, the light, how she's looking somewhere into the city. So also I would like to tell you a little bit about this small camera, which has really great quality. And so if you are at the beginning of your road as a street photographer, you can take this. This was a commercial shooting. It is a story about 2 girls that are meeting for a coffee. But you can see that the quality and colors are amazing. And it was made with this small guy. When I'm traveling, I can put it like here. I was dancing for 13 years and I had really back injured, very strong. So now I'm trying not to have too much gear with me. So that's why when I'm going out, I'm taking my jacket, 1 camera, or even this, with another battery, and it's enough. So you can see that autofocus is working really good. I was doing a work about the daily life and lifestyle in London. So I was able to capture each bird in the position which I wanted to. But what I really love with this, the XQ2, is classic chrome. Because when I'm looking at the images, what you can see are pure JPEGs. Because when I was testing the camera, there I could only shoot with the JPEGs. So there is no Photoshop, no Lightroom on them. Thank you to the zoom lensing, you can have a great landscape, portraiture, everything what you want. So you don't have to buy big camera with all different lenses. You can have this small one for your journeys. Street photography can also be a little bit like this, playing with the colors, red and white. But you can see the colors are great. Also you can play with the reflections. Because what is important in street photography, to play with the viewer, try him to explore the image, not only see as a postcard. When I was shooting this image, I was that close to this girl. But thank you to small camera, she wasn't paying attention to all. And I was able to capture this moment and also the sign, look right. Try not to take typical landscape. That's why I use this. The lamp, it looks like genie lamp. So when you use your hand, then you can see London going from it. Or even this, as I told you, for good street photography with black and white. I was waiting for the moment when the eye will be here and all the people inside the subway. What I would like to tell you also, or share with you my opinion, you've got great city to take street photography. I live in a very small city, which is 400,000 people, and spotting on a street sometimes 5 to 10 people, it's very hard. In Tokyo, 10 million, so it's like a jungle for people who love street or documentary photography. What I wanted to do in Tokyo was combining street with portraiture and waiting for the great light, like here. This is, for example, Omotesando Street. But normally when I'm walking on a street, I'm walking for 10 to 12 hours a day. So the moment is the light on his face. And you can see also great quality thanks to 56mm lens with the XT1. Or this one. She looks like she's looking in the mirror to herself. And this is the moment and beauty of street photography. At the end, I would like to show you 3 images from my ongoing project about my city. My city used to have a lot of factories, but now they are closed. So I'm trying to capture the daily life and how it looks nowadays. 90% of this project is made with X100S and T, with two converters, 50mm and 28. Paying attention to the lines, the eyes. This is also very important. This makes the image. Or this image. It's a very famous park in my city, like Yoyogi Park in Tokyo. But thank you to the autofocus, I was able to capture this complicated scene with all the bubbles, which looks like different worlds. At the end, I would like to show you, I think, quite complicated image, but thank you to the flash and autofocus, I was able to capture all the details, like those faces here. But what makes the image is the flower on his face. So this small camera, which I'm talking about, X100T, is great for documentary photography. Thank you very much.
どうもありがとうございました。
Tomasz-san, thank you so much. Wonderful photos.
Thank you.
Do you have one final message or advice to the audience?
I think my advice is the quote of one of the masters of photography, Ernst Haas. He used to be a Magnum photographer. That's, you can read it, but like it's not be like a poet, but use your imagination with the photography and also take a lot of inspiration from books, movies, music. This is what inspires me.
Thank you so much. Wonderful photos and stage. ありがとうございました。